You walk into a room and your shirt has a small stain on it, maybe from breakfast. Maybe you only noticed it in the car on the way over and now it is all you can think about. You are certain everyone sees it. You scan the room, you angle your body away, you consider leaving and coming back in a different shirt. The stain is the size of a coin, but in your mind it has expanded to cover your entire chest, broadcasting itself to every person in the room. Here is what actually happened. Nobody noticed. Not because people are unobservant, because they are doing exactly what you are doing, walking into the same room convinced that everyone is looking at them, cataloging their own flaws. Everyone in that room is the star of their own private performance. Nobody has attention left to spend on yours. This is called the spotlight effect. And once you understand what drives it, you will never feel the same way in a crowded room again. Psychologists Thomas Gilovich and Kenneth Savitsky at Cornell University ran a simple experiment in 2000. They asked participants to wear an embarrassing t-shirt into a room full of people, then estimate how many noticed. Participants guessed about half the room. The real number was closer to 1 in 4, and most had forgotten it moments later. The spotlight exists entirely inside your own head. But why would your brain build a fictional audience and make you perform for it constantly, whether you are giving a presentation, eating alone, or simply walking across a parking lot? The answer starts before language, before cities, before farming. Your ancestors lived in tight groups of 30 to 40 people. Food, protection, shelter, everything ran through the group. Being excluded was not embarrassing, it was a death sentence. So your brain evolved to track obsessively how the people around you perceived you. Not because your ancestors were vain, because their survival depended entirely on their social standing. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar found that the human brain evolved primarily to manage social complexity, to track relationships, reputations, and threats within a group where what everyone thought of you mattered enormously. That system is still running in you right now, in a world that looks nothing like the one it was built for. When you walk into a coffee shop with a stain on your shirt, your ancient monitoring system treats 40 strangers exactly like your entire tribe. Maximum alert. Everyone is watching. Your standing is at risk, but the reading is almost always wrong. Psychologist Mark Leary argues that your self-esteem is not really about how you feel about yourself alone. It is a live gauge of how accepted you believe you are by those around you. When it drops, your brain fires emotional pain to push you to repair the damage, the same way physical pain stops you from touching fire. What you feel when you think everyone noticed your stain is not vanity. It is a survival alarm misfiring in the wrong century. The spotlight also works alongside the illusion of transparency, the false belief that your nervousness and embarrassment are far more visible to others than they actually are. You feel your face going red. You feel your voice wavering. You assume all of it is broadcasting clearly. In reality, the gap between what you feel and what others observe is enormous. Gilovich found people overestimated their visible anxiety by 2 to 3 times the actual amount. Because your internal experience is loud and constant, you assume it must be equally loud to everyone else. But everyone else is living inside their own loud internal world with no bandwidth left to monitor yours. The spotlight intensifies in exactly the moments you most need your mind free. High-stakes rooms, public speaking, new situations. The moments that demand you focus outward are the exact moments your brain turns it inward most aggressively. The exit is not confidence. The exit is accurate information. The audience in your head is a construction, assembled from your own fears, running on software that cannot tell the difference between a tribe whose opinion will follow you for life and a room full of strangers who will forget your face before they reach their cars. Everyone else in that room is hoping nobody notices their stain. Nobody is looking at yours. You walked into a room and your shirt had a small stain on it. Nobody saw it then. Nobody remembers it now. The only spotlight that ever existed was the one your brain built to keep you safe in a world that no longer exists. Here is something worth sitting with. The moments you remember most painfully, the stumble, the blank mid-sentence, those feel enormous because you lived them from inside. To everyone else, they registered as a blip. Your brain archives embarrassments in high definition. Everyone else filed them under things forgotten by dinner.